That information came direct from Meghan's ex-husband, Trevor Engelson, via an intermediary. And obviously, Trevor Engelson is a very successful TV producer. He now has his own family. He's very happy. He hasn't spoken on the record.
Many people doubt Meghan has long been a mother, following her attendance at Northwestern University.
I'm sorry. I of course choose you.
Okay, great.
So here's the deal with Meghan Markle. For years, the media painted her as the ultimate Hollywood dream come true, the so-called fairy tale duchess. They spun it like a script, telling us about a woman who climbed from being a briefcase girl on Deal or No Deal to an actress on TV, then suddenly swept into Buckingham Palace as Prince Harry's dazzling bride. The narrative was wrapped in glitter, polished by PR teams, and sold to the world as if it were a modern-day Cinderella story. But here's the part nobody talks about.
It is pretty extraordinary, isn't it? I mean, I think she's just got so used to lying that maybe, in my opinion, she believes the lies she tells. I don't know, but either way, she's just been so consistently loose with the truth.
Joshua Silverstein was her very first boyfriend. They were both only 13.
Meghan began dating Joe Giuliano, and the couple got married after having a child when Meghan was almost 20.
What?
He's moved on. He has put Meghan behind him. He probably is not interested in people bringing up his past relationship. He has 3 children now with his new wife.
According to reports, Noelle was born in or around 1999, which fits the timeline perfectly.
He must have been so devastated at the time with the way that he was treated, but actually he dodged a bullet. He has his dignity. He's still working in the industry.
What if that glossy fairy tale wasn't just exaggerated, but hiding something far darker? Behind the curtain of picture-perfect headlines, there's a massive gap in the story that doesn't add up. That gap isn't just a detail, it's a crack in the entire royal love story that makes people question what's real and what's been manufactured. And buried in that crack is a rumor so outrageous, so jaw-dropping, it makes the crown itself look like nothing more than a bedtime prop. The kind of rumor that doesn't just shake the palace, it flips the whole fairy tale upside down. Because the whispers won't quit. According to the kind of rumors that just refuse to fade, Meghan Markle may not only be a duchess, not only a mother, but already a grandmother. Yes, you heard that right.
Meghan Markle is one of the most ruthless social climbers I've ever met in my entire life. And anyone who thinks she wants to get out of the fame element of all this is living in cloud cuckoo land.
Let that sink in for a second, because this rabbit hole doesn't just lead to some random gossip, it dives headfirst into secret Las Vegas weddings, sealed-off court files, and a mysterious missing year in Meghan's past that no one has ever been able to explain. Shady, right? So let's hit rewind. Way before Harry, way before the royal title, way before tabloids dissected her every outfit like it was breaking news. Back when Meghan wasn't the Duchess of Sussex, but just Rachel from Los Angeles, a girl hustling for her spot in Hollywood. That was the Meghan nobody remembers now. And in those forgotten years, there was one man who claimed he saw the real Meghan, not the polished PR fantasy the world has been fed. And his name, well, let's just say, once you hear it, you'll understand why the rumors about Meghan's so-called hidden family refuse to stay buried.
Narcissist who cannot get enough of herself while she simultaneously plays the victim. My castle's too small. Yeah. The queen is mean.
The whispers don't trace back to Hollywood premieres or champagne-fueled Beverly Hills parties. They start in Las Vegas, but not the sparkling casinos or celebrity penthouses. No, this trail begins at a tiny, off-strip chapel, the kind of place where Elvis impersonators cash in by marrying strangers at 2 a.m.
Only person who can really clear this up outside of Meghan herself is Trevor Engelson, who until this point has kept a total dignified silence, despite the fact that Meghan treated him so appallingly, even sending back their engagement ring via the post.
Picture it, Meghan Markle, just 18 years old, unknown, no paparazzi in sight, no flashing bulbs, only a young girl standing in front of a groom named Joe Giuliano. 2 family witnesses sat quietly as Meghan Markle signed what insiders swear was a real marriage certificate. No designer dress fittings, no glossy magazine spreads. Just a teenage wedding tucked away in Sin City's shadows. The kind of moment that feels like it was never meant to be public. Until now.
I mean, we obviously know via Tom Bower that Meghan Markle returned her engagement ring to Trevor Engelson via the post. But the fact that you're actually so blatant in terms of the fact that you want this famous royal, and specifically you want Prince Harry, because you know my reporting on Meghan Markle's early life in London, Angela, made it very clear that she was looking for a celebrity.
And here's where it gets messy. The marriage? It didn't fade out with some quick divorce filing like you'd expect. Nope. The story takes a sharp turn because insiders claim that marriage still lingers in the background like an unclosed chapter, raising a million questions about what really happened in Meghan's past and why this piece of the puzzle has been buried for so long. It didn't end in divorce, it ended in an annulment. And for anyone not fluent in legal talk, that basically means the court waves a magic wand and declares the marriage never existed in the first place. In Nevada, annulments disappear faster than a slot machine jackpot. You file the paperwork, pay the lawyer, and just like that, boom, it's gone. No messy records, no archive trail, nothing left to point back. On paper, Meghan Markle was never married, a spotless slate.
Meghan Markle is the flea in the ointment who continues to ruin the increasingly rancid relationship.
But let's be real. You don't go through the trouble of sealing something unless there's something inside worth keeping secret. And that's exactly where things get suspicious. Meghan's official story claims she took a wholesome gap year before college, traveling the world, finding herself. Cute, right? Except there's no proof. No travel photos, no study abroad applications, no exchange programs. Just a mysterious, empty hole in her timeline that nobody can account for.
Down-to-earth people she grew up with, her half-brother Thomas Markle Jr. and half-sister Samantha. Meanwhile, the Duchess adopts her practiced actress smile, puts on a dazzling display of unbridled joy.
Now here's where it flips from odd to downright scandalous. According to the Giuliano family, Meghan wasn't sipping espresso in Rome or backpacking across Europe with friends. They insist she was quietly living in Chicago, keeping an extremely low profile. And during that so-called missing year, mid-1995, the whispers turn explosive. Sources close to the Giulianos allege Meghan didn't just bury a teenage marriage. They claim she secretly had a baby. Yes, a baby girl. Not under her own name, not with balloons, not with family announcements, but quietly, discreetly, completely under the radar, with the Giuliano family right there in the picture. They allegedly made a pact, a decision that would change everything. The Giuliano family supposedly agreed to raise the child as one of their own, folding her into their lives so completely that outsiders would never question it.
So it makes sense. Oh my God, I've got to keep everybody away because if they start talking, the lies come out.
And one relative, according to whispers, summed it up with a line so chilling it stuck in people's heads. She was Meghan's before she was ours. That's not the kind of sentence you just forget. Now pause for a second and picture this. Meghan disappears for a year, vanishes from the radar completely. Then suddenly, she re-emerges at Northwestern University, polished, smiling, carrying herself like nothing ever happened. No trace of the missing year, no sign of late-night phone calls to check in, no quick visits, no half-hearted explanations, just silence. Like she'd slammed a door shut on her past and walked through another one without ever looking back.
Given her appearance, Noelle does share some similarities with Jo and Meghan, and she's even more like Meghan.
This wasn't just a casual reset, it was a total reboot of her identity. Goodbye, Rachel from LA, the girl with messy secrets. Hello, Meghan Markle, ambitious college student on her way to bigger, brighter things. It was a clean break so sharp, so absolute that it looked like a character rewrite in a Hollywood script. But in real life, that kind of vanishing act leaves shadows, and those shadows are exactly where the rumors start to crawl.
She married for money. It's very clear she bagged the elephant. She was thrilled. She became a quote princess.
Well, you can.
It was planned from the beginning. She denied being interested in the royal family, which she totally was. I know someone who knows the ex-husband who said she had a vision board with Prince Harry on it.
Before they met?
Yes, and she wants to
That's
pretend.
impressive. You got to admit that is impressive.
But those cracks in Meghan's story just keep showing. Officially, her birth year has always been stamped as 1981. Nice and tidy, right? Except old alumni records, stray event programs, and whispered recollections suggest otherwise, some pointing to 1977, even as far back as 1975. And if that's true, Meghan wasn't the wide-eyed teenager the world was sold. She was older, which suddenly makes the Las Vegas marriage and that explosive 1995 baby rumor line up with almost surgical precision. It's like puzzle pieces clicking together in plain sight. And let's be honest, questionable paperwork isn't new in Meghan's story. Take Archie's birth certificate as the perfect example. At first, it listed her full name, Rachel Meghan Markle, just like any other official record would. Then, out of nowhere, poof, a few weeks later, it was scrubbed and replaced with only one title, Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. Palace officials tried to brush it off, calling it nothing more than a harmless clerical adjustment.
Meghan was researching the prince online and found out that the prince is now duped, so I can now go ahead and marry him. At that stage, Meghan contacted Joe, told him that, look, if you open your mouth, I'm gonna sue you.
But insiders weren't buying it. They swore they'd never seen a change like that for any royal mother. Not Diana, not Kate, not anyone. It wasn't just a tweak, it was a red flag. A reminder that when it comes to Meghan, even the paperwork has shadows lurking behind it. And every time the records change, the whispers about what's being hidden get louder. If a royal birth certificate can be altered right in front of the world, then imagine how easy it would have been to quietly smooth over teenage records from decades ago. That's the part that makes this rumor so dangerous, because the paper trail could have been erased before Meghan even stepped into the spotlight. So, let's fast forward.
Usually extremely dominant, and they know how to play the vulnerability card.
If Meghan really did have a child back in 1995, that daughter wouldn't be a child anymore. She'd be nearly 30 years old today. And here's where it gets even crazier. Whispers say that daughter already has a child of her own, which would make Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, the global brand who built her entire career on reinvention. A grandmother in secret. Just picture the palace spin doctors choking on their tea if that headline ever broke loose.
Hi, Nanny. I got an English award. And right now we're in Beverly Hills, and we're gonna pass the Beverly Hilton Hotel, where I'll be on Sunday meeting the other.
And secrets. They never stay buried forever. Neighbors in Chicago supposedly recall seeing a young girl at Giuliano family gatherings. Never fully explained, never formally introduced, just there. Blended into the family like she belonged, but with a hush around her name. No spotlight, no open acknowledgement, just whispers carried through time.
What could the motive be for keeping both sides of the family away?
That's right.
The stories would come out.
And if that girl was real, and if she's grown into adulthood with a child of her own, then Meghan's polished timeline isn't just cracked. It's shattered into pieces, leaving behind a version of her story that looks nothing like the fairy tale we've been fed. And here's the part that cuts the deepest. Meghan has spent years micromanaging every single detail of her image. From the way she tilts her head in interviews, to the way paparazzi just so happen to catch her in Montecito looking effortlessly casual, it's all been about control. Every photo, every headline, every brand move, crafted like a Hollywood script designed to protect the perfect narrative. But if this rumored hidden bloodline were ever to step into the spotlight, that's control Meghan would never get back.
A moment where Megyn Kelly reveals that Meghan Markle married for money, that she planned it all from the beginning, and the vision board with Prince Harry on it was revealed to her by someone who knew Trevor Engelson.
How do you spin being a grandmother when your entire public image is built on being the relatable, modern mom? How do you keep selling the dream of jam jars, podcasts, and lifestyle branding when a ghost from your teenage past could be sitting across the dinner table, with a stroller parked right next to them? Think about it. Meghan's empire thrives on image, on relatability, on the idea that she's living this chic, curated, picture-perfect California life. But one undeniable truth from the past could rip that illusion to pieces. Because no amount of staged paparazzi walks or palace-level PR can erase the reality of bloodlines. And if that bloodline is real, it's a scandal that can't be buried, bought, or spun. It would follow her everywhere. And that's the nightmare for someone like Meghan. Once control slips, once the story writes itself, she's not the author anymore. She's the headline.
But this woman is nothing but a publicity whore. It's a term of art. We broke the news that she had Prince Harry on her vision board when she was younger. That was her goal, #goal, to marry Prince Harry. So it was all about getting the title. She's done that now. Now she's just stuck with this depressed ginger who has absolutely no family, no friends, and no money. This was not part of the plan.
Trevor Engelson, the man who knew Meghan long before the palace gates ever opened, once allegedly let it slip with nothing more than a whisper. Meghan's story isn't what the world thinks it is. At the time, it sounded like vague gossip. But now, that whisper has turned into a roar. Because secrets don't stay buried. They sit. They wait. They hide inside sealed court files. They linger in missing photo albums. They echo through relatives' offhand remarks. And eventually, they storm their way back into the spotlight. And here's the question nobody wants to ask. What happens if Meghan's alleged daughter finally learns the truth? What happens if she looks Meghan straight in the eye and says, "I know who you are"? That's not just family drama. That's a royal earthquake shaking the very foundation of Meghan's carefully constructed empire. No palace PR machine could duct tape a revelation that big. Not Harry's memoirs, not staged interviews, not even $1 billion Netflix contract could shield her from the fallout.
How does she see the children's, and she's put the children's in inverted commas, time being split between them, and how does she think their lives will...
Because once the truth belongs to someone else, especially someone with blood ties, the narrative is no longer Meghan's to control. And when control is ripped away, the fairy tale doesn't just unravel, it explodes into scandal on a scale the royals haven't seen in decades. Not even Oprah's bombshell interviews, not even Netflix's $100 million deal could contain the kind of revelation this would unleash. It would blow the doors off everything Meghan has built. Because here's the raw, unfiltered tea. Meghan Markle, Duchess, actress, influencer, global brand, may not just be the mother she's carefully presented to the world. She may already be a grandmother. Not in 10 years, not someday down the line, but right now, in the present moment. And that flips the question on its head. It's not if this hidden chapter exists, it's when it finally bursts into the public eye. And when that day comes, you better believe the headlines will practically write themselves. Imagine the royal spin doctors scrambling. Imagine the palace walls shaking. Imagine Meghan staring down the kind of scandal that makes every staged photo op in Montecito look like child's play. So here's what I want to know from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe Meghan's past will eventually catch up to her? Or will this chapter stay locked away forever, sealed behind whispers and missing files? Because if history has taught us anything, it's this. Secrets never stay buried. They leak, they spread, and they surface at the worst possible time. And if you loved this breakdown of Meghan's hidden past, do not forget, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications because trust me, we've got plenty more royal drama ready to spill. And you do not want to miss the next cup of tea. See you in the next one.